It is Thursday, March 27th, 2025. This is episode 60 of the Carlos Whittaker podcast, and I am your host, Carlos Whittaker. Welcome to another episode of Human School, where we listen to extraordinary stories of ordinary humans that are actually extraordinary to hopefully inspire us to human a little better. And I am so excited. Oh, goodness. Did you hear my grand dog? That's right. I've got a grand dog. That is Nelson. And I'm not going to edit that out because you deserve to know the reality that is the chaos of trying to record this podcast in my basement. I'm going to leave this inspirational music going because, well, I need it. So today we are talking to Jess Burke. Who in the world is Jess Burke? Let me tell you who Jess Burke is. Who she's going to be to you. She is one of the most inspirational stories of rags to riches. Riches may be a stretch and rags may be a stretch. But Jess went from cleaning toilets in an office complex with her little kids next to her early in her marriage to now being an executive in corporate America, running a team of thousands of people. And it is a very inspirational story that's going to help you guys realize that it is never too late. That's right. It's never too late. There's Nelson again. It's never too late to chase your dream. It's never too late to change the direction and the trajectory of your life. Jess has done this so well. She's done it so beautifully. And I'm excited for you to hear from her. Y'all ready? Jess, take us to Human School. Okay, like I said in the intro, you are now with the, listen, Jess, when I say this, you can roll your eyes. I don't know if people say this about you. Like, we've only actually hung out for a little bit. We hung out around a campfire in the most beautiful spot in San Diego a few months back. But you literally are like an explosion of joy. Like that's like, you know, and I'm sure your kids don't say that all the time, but when it comes to me, that's what it's always been. So that's what I described you as in the intro.
Oh, well, that's so sweet. And if I could be described as anything, it would be joy and glitter. So my heart is happy. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. Well, that is what you are. I kind of have already let people know a little bit about your story. But I'm just going to literally just jump in with the first question. Can you take us back to the early days, those early days, married at 20, kids by 23, cleaning offices with your tiny little babies nearby? Like, what did life actually feel like in that season? Not hindsight, but in that season, what did it feel like?
You know, I don't know that I knew any better.
Yeah.
So it just felt like what life was supposed to be. And I've just always felt like in life, you either find the good in it or you find the hard in it, and there's always both. And then you just ride with it. And so I think when I was cleaning office building urinals with my kids in a pack and play and Scooby-Doo on and Goldfish, I thought, well, this is how you make money to go to thrift stores. So this is great.
This is how you make money to go to thrift stores. You know, there's lesson number one, you know, like already like the Human School listeners can just write that down, you know. What did you learn about yourself during those long nights? Again, cleaning office buildings, lessons that maybe still show up now when you're in the office buildings, quote unquote, that people are cleaning. Like what lessons from there are you pulling into this season of life?
You know, so my kids are 22 and 20 now, and I have told them since they were very young, and I came up with this in those office buildings. You either overcome or you succumb.
Wow.
And you have a choice, right? Like you do what's in front of you and you do it well. And that means you overcome it.
Yeah.
Or you succumb to it and just kind of don't feel great in it and just keep like maybe the downward spiral in it. And so my kids all say they're going to get a tattoo of it. I am in for that for sure. But
I love that.
Yeah. You overcome or you succumb. And we do that every day. There's always challenges. There's always struggles. There's always really fun parts of life and there's always really hard parts. But we have the opportunity to be great in them no matter what they are.
Yeah. Overcome or succumb. So good. You're right. I mean, that is very tattooable. That's very t-shirtable. But like, I mean, what would you say? Okay, so let's go there. What would give us an example of maybe a time in this journey or in your journey in life where you actually, because that's a great phrase, right? Like that's like inspirational. But I can think of 5 times that I've succumbed this week as opposed to overcome. Can you give us, because you have a really inspirational story, but can you give us a moment in your journey where you actually succumbed instead of overcame?
Yeah, I would say so. I went to college and I was great in high school and I got good grades and I was at a good college and I was doing well. And I decided to get married my 3rd year in college and quit college. And my dad was a very big, he loved a diploma and he was
Yeah.
very proud of that. And so that was hard. And I remember scrubbing a toilet with 2 kids by the age of, actually, by that time I was probably 25. So
Okay.
Ty was probably 4, Maddie was probably 2. And I remember thinking, oh, my dad wouldn't be proud of me.
Mm,
And I succumbed to that. And
yeah.
I was kind of like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like
Mm,
garage
yeah.
sailing and cleaning office buildings. And is this it? And I actually
Yeah.
called my dad and
Huh.
was very teary and
Wow.
said, I gave into something today. And I think you'd be bummed at me that I gave into it. And I told him what it was. And like the amazing dad that he was, he said,
Hmm.
I don't care what you're doing as long as you're a
That's
good
awesome.
human.
Wow.
And, I think there's been times in life that I've thought, is this it? And
Yeah.
that's where I usually succumb. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm a naturally a dreamer and I'm
Uh-huh.
naturally a go-getter. So it's always like, what's next?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
so
good.
I usually succumb if I don't see something on the horizon. That's usually when
Okay.
I'm like, wah, wah, wah.
Yes. Well, on the horizon within your story, you had a moment where the building owner came to you. And can you tell us that part of the story?
Yeah. So because we had kids young and we didn't have a lot financially, they had to come with me when I cleaned office
Yeah.
buildings. So I usually cleaned on the weekend. Well, sometimes the owner would be in on the weekend just doing like owner stuff, right? He had to
Yeah.
catch up on admin work, whatever it was. So we would talk every once in a while. He put on Scooby Doo for my kids. He was the best.
Oh, that's awesome.
And after a few months of that, he was like, hey, have you ever thought of maybe like working from home? You've always been super diligent here. I need some admin work done. I'll give you a laptop. And in my brain, I was like, ooh, shiny
Oh, a
laptop.
laptop.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm fancy. So I was like, this is amazing. So he kind of taught me what he did was and I never knew this, when
Uh-huh.
organizations go on strike
Uh-huh.
across America, they need security guards to be flown in to make sure everyone stays safe.
So
And
crazy.
someone on the back end has to call all these people, make sure they're free, get their travel arrangement planned, get a spreadsheet going, make sure they're arriving on time, there's hotels.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I ended up doing.
You literally went from like scrubbing toilets to helping run a strike security company. A strike security company. What a crazy, crazy business.
As one does.
Yes. That is so
Yeah.
cool. There is something powerful about someone seeing the potential in you, possibly before you see it in yourself.
Yeah.
How did that fuel you from that moment? Like, did you think, oh my gosh, shiny laptop, freaking top of the penthouse, here I come.
Yeah.
You
No
know?
one is going to run a strike better than me. Right. But I will say, I think there was always this quiet voice inside of me that always wanted to make sure that my kids were still first. And he was really good about that. So
Mm,
I would work nights sometimes doing this, weekends, but I could
yeah.
still drop my kids off at school. I could
Yep.
be the PTA mom. I could make the cupcakes. And so I think that even caused me to work even harder
Even
because I
harder.
so appreciated his
Yeah.
willingness to work with me. And so
Yeah.
I think we kind of like, we were bouncing off ideas off of each other and we were able to like almost be a really good support system to each other then because we
Yeah.
had such a mutual respect of each other.
Wow. Wow. Tell me again, like, so like, we just kind of glossed past strike security. Like, Like are these security people for strikes? Like who are we talking? Dog the Bounty Hunter? Like who are these people that are flying to these places?
So a ton of them are ex-military.
Oh,
So
really?
you'll get like a lot of people from Wilmington, North Carolina. That's usually where a lot of people sometimes will retire to.
Oh, really?
Ex-military, you'll find like little hubs kind of across the country. And so a lot of those people have either been in military or they've been in some sort of a security setting, whether it's a security officer, TSA. And usually when they're retired, they just look for these contracts. And so you get a roster going of like 500 to 900 people. And you know your best people who never have complaints, and you call them first. And then you keep going down the list when they're available, when they're not. And then you keep getting all the stuff off to the travel agent, and you make sure they have everything that they need.
Wow.
And then it's crazy because sometimes they'll go into negotiations and you'll work 40, 50 hours and an entire strike will get canceled, which is good for the organization, but you've just put in so much work. And then other times it's like, just kidding, we need you 5 days earlier. Or just kidding, we went into negotiations, it didn't work, now we need you a week later. So it was kind of always maneuvering and pivoting. Yeah.
Yeah. And who are they being security for? The strikers or the companies?
Yes. It depends on who hires them. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
The answer is yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, human school familia, listen up. I am so excited to be testing my body and my life this year with Function. And I can't wait to share with you what's going on actually inside of me. What in the world is Function? Function is an all-in-one health platform. Get this, that starts with over 100 advanced lab tests covering my entire body. Okay, all my body and your body too. Your heart, your hormones, liver, kidney, thyroid, autoimmunity, cancer signals, toxins, nutrients, and so much more. I'm pumped about it. Why? Because it's so easy. Literally, I can sign up and set an account. You can sign up and set up an account in less than 5 minutes. Then you schedule the lab tests that you want, and then you will get your personalized results. I'm telling you, these lab tests are legitimately going to shift the way that I take care of my body, because I think one of the most important things we can do is understand our body. It actually gives us ownership of our health, okay? Function Health, it's about taking control of your health through data instead of doing what I've done my entire 51 years of life, which is guessing what's happening inside of my body, right? And then also, what I love is that the first set of test results, it helps me establish like a baseline for my health. Then I can take that baseline and I can see when I improve, I can see when I go down. It is so helpful. So that's what I love about Function, is that it gives me a baseline and also it gives me ownership of my health. Some of the tests that I'm super pumped about are tests that are gonna help me master my stress, right? So that's like testing our cortisol, DHEAS, measuring those things to evaluate how my body, especially in this season, is responding to stress. All right, so listen, this is what you can do. Function currently has a wait list, but they are offering my audience the chance to skip it. That's right, you can skip the wait list. Head to functionhealth.com/CarlosW or enter code CarlosW when signing up to skip the wait list. That's right, please head to functionhealth.com/CarlosW to skip the wait list. If there's one thing I know about the Carlos Whittaker podcast listeners, it's that most of you have some sort of child in your home, whether it be a baby, to an adolescent, to a preteen, to a teenager. Most of you got these kids or grandkids in your home, and I've got something that can help them stay healthy. It is Hiya. What in the world is Hiya? Hiya is a chewable kids vitamin. When I say kids, I mean kids from 0 to 18. And it fills the most common gaps in modern children's diets to provide the full body nourishment your kids need with a yummy, yummy taste. When I say yummy, that means that the 5-year-old's gonna love this taste that they love. Formulated with the help of pediatricians and nutritional experts, Hiya is pressed with a blend of 12 organic fruits and veggies, and then supercharged with 15 essential vitamins and minerals, including vitamin D, B12, C, zinc, folate, and many others. So listen, every single batch is third-party tested for heavy metals and all kinds of stuff that we don't want in our vitamins. I love that Hiya actually ships you these vitamins so you don't have to go to the store. If you forget about it, you don't run out of them and your routine continues on. So this is what I want you to listen to. This is super important. I know that our kids, sometimes they don't love their greens. Well, guess what? Hiya now has Kids Daily Greens plus Superfoods, a chocolate flavored greens powder designed specifically for kids. It's packed with 55 whole food ingredients to support brain power, development, and digestion. All you gotta do is scoop it up, shake it, and sip it with milk or any non-dairy beverage for a delicious and nutritious boost your kids are actually going to love. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamins. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you gotta go to hiyahealth.com/humanhope. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/humanhope and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Okay, so then you move even from like this admin, organizing, strike people into sales in the same company?
No, not in the same company.
No. Okay. So move me into this next season.
So a gentleman at the church that we attended was like a sales regional VP. And he was like, hey, have you ever thought of sales? And I was like, I make a mean bunny cupcake, but sales has not been in my thought process. And he said, I can teach you details, but it's hard to teach personality. And I think you have a personality that would work. And the funny thing is, I was applying for a part-time teller position at a bank I would eventually partner with, and they didn't even call me back.
No way.
No call. So I go into this interview, and mind you, I'm me. Like I have a nose piercing, and I'm like, hi, everyone. My favorite color is glitter. And there's all these salespeople there who are so smart and so good in the industry. And I'm like, I am a fish out of water.
Sure.
I'm never going to get the job.
You felt right away, you felt like, oh my gosh, they're going to look at my paper resume and be like, what is this person even doing here?
Not even that. I didn't even have a full suit. It was a thrift store suit.
Oh,
so it was all black, but like the coat and the pants were a little off because they weren't like the exact same suit, you know?
Yeah.
And so my soon-to-be boss put his neck out on the line and said, I really believe in this one. I think you should hire her. They did. The big VP at the time found out that they had hired me and was not happy. He wanted the offer to be recanted. Yes.
No way.
I went
hold on. Tell me what kind of selling are you doing? Like, what are you selling?
So, it's merchant services. So anytime you go anywhere and take a credit card, there's sales behind that we have to work behind the situation. We call it fintech, financial technology.
Okay. Fintech.
Yep,
Got
fintech. It sounds so fancy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Fintech, that's really fancy. You're right. So
fancy.
So VP's like, no, you got to recant this offer. We can't do this.
And HR's like, we can't do that. She's already accepted it. Like that would be horrible for us.
Yeah.
So I go into this week-long training. It's my first time ever away from my family for 5 days.
Really?
Yeah. So I go in and I am in this class with all these other people who get hired. They all get their referral partner. I am told I have to sign 10 deals before I get them because of how green I am. I have to prove myself.
Wow.
So we're in this training and I still remember we're still friends now, but her name was Jessica and we were trying to make all these cold calls and I'm like verge of tear girl trying to still smile like, and my voice just keeps going higher pitch like, everything's fine. Oh my gosh, it's fine. It's so fine. And she looked at me and she said, you will do this. You are going to prove them wrong. Keep picking up that phone. And I was like, okay. And I did. And I went out and I sold deals faster than they did. I got my partnerships within the first month. And I still couldn't even read a statement, which is what we were supposed to do. But my boss at the time lived 4 miles away. I would collect them all during the day, bring them to his house, pick them up at 8 a.m, and sell all the deals, knowing nothing of what I was doing.
Really? That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I read that you like were breaking sales records as a rookie.
I did.
Yeah. I mean, this is amazing. What do you think that people, because I am always so fascinated in sales. My wife always tells me like, Carlos, like, honestly, if you ever want to quit writing books you need to go sell things. Like you need to be in a sale. And I'm like, and I've always been fascinated by friends in sales. And I've always thought that maybe I could do sales of some sort in some way, shape, or form. But like, what do you think that people misunderstand about success in sales in general? Like
Yeah. Disingenuous. That's why you would be great at sales. I would hire you in a heartbeat. Because whether you know something or didn't, you'd be like, I don't know, but I'll find out.
yeah,
But then you get the people that just try to be like, oh, well, it's obviously this and this,
yeah,
and it's not right. Like,
yeah,
I didn't try to go in as anything other than me. Secret squirrel,
yeah.
my deals that I sold were 2 tattoo shops. My brother's a tattoo artist.
Huh.
I didn't wear a suit. No
Uh-huh.
one would go into them because they were all afraid of them.
Yes.
I would go in with my tattoos and be like, has anyone ever looked at this? Your terminal's out of date. How are you taking credit cards? Can you do gift cards? And they're like, no, we want to, but no one will let us. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I got you. I think
Wow.
6 or 7 of my first 10 deals were tattoo shops. But it's
Really?
just because I was like, I know that and I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so from there, we moved to California. I worked my way up. I became a manager and then I was a regional manager. And then they put me into learning and development and sales enablement. I got to work with the very same trainer who trained me.
No
And
way.
yeah, it was amazing. She's amazing. And I actually just started a new job 6 weeks ago. And now,
You did?
yeah, I'm
Same company, different company?
different company, but I'm a senior revenue enablement manager. I should have a master's.
Wow.
Um,
You have a master's in hustle. You
There
got
you
it,
go. Sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
will tell you though, it's the very first company that I flat out said I don't have a degree that I've ever interviewed
Oh,
with. Because they've
really?
always just slid past it because they think
Yeah.
I do because of where I'm at.
Yep.
And it's the very first one that I said, I have to correct you. I never
Yeah.
graduated.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, why? And I told them, and it's the first one that they were like, at this point, we don't care.
Yeah, totally. That's
We don't care.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is so explain what your job is now. Like what
Yeah.
explain what that means.
So everyone who did the job that I did when I first started in sales, I
Uh-huh.
get to train all of them
Okay.
on sales techniques and
Wow.
how to put value behind a sale and how to be genuine and trustworthy. And
Wow.
I get to train.
How to human.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to start with this company, something I've done before, and it's manager training. So it's really teaching
Okay.
leadership instead
Yeah.
of management. So it's about how do you see the person behind the position? How do you motivate? How do you not just like be process oriented? Like, how do we make people feel like they matter? Because every study shows that if someone feels like they matter, they do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that one of the things that, everyone listening and I see in you, it's like, okay, so like you're obviously you care for people a lot. You're also very successful in the corporate space, but you have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old. And you obviously just the way you talk about them, the way that you would, take them with you, like motherhood is something that is obviously very important to you. We're living in I think this cultural climate sometimes that will try to pit being present as a mom and being ambitious, and we live in. You hear these conversations like talk to that cultural moment right now. Like if that moment was a person and you could look at them in the eye, like talk to them about how you're able to be everything that you need to be.
So one, I know that I can't be everything. That's probably that has taken years to admit to. I will probably get teary, and it's happy tears.
Good.
Wife and mom will always be my favorite titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that does not mean that I don't find so much joy and even like probably a little bit of self-worth in my job.
Yeah.
I adore my jobs. But there is something that I am so thankful of, that I don't have regrets. And I will tell you, I don't have a lot of hobbies. I hung up a bird feeder 2 days ago, and I had birds this morning, and I'm so happy.
Look at that. You're already a professional bird feeder.
I mean, 2 days in, guys, I'm really good. But like, I didn't get a chance for all of maybe like the hobbies or the things.
Yeah.
And if that's what some women choose, oh my gosh, like I'm so happy for you. Judgy is like not my style and not my vibe at all.
Sure.
But personally for me, I got to go this last week. Both my kids asked me to go out with them. Like,
That's awesome.
there's just
There it is.
something, nothing will ever be better than that. And I got to be at the events. And sometimes I would fly home and go right from the airport and be exhausted, but I was able to give the standing ovation at the theater event or the jazz band event.
Yes.
And they are truly the best thing I've ever been able to be a witness of and be a part of. And so
amazing.
that has just always been, that is something I've never wavered on. Like, my husband and my kids are my first ministry, my first priority, my first loves. And even my friends know I will cancel on you in a heartbeat if my kid needs me.
I love it. I love it. What I love about what I'm hearing is like, I think people need to understand that there is no one way.
No.
The one way needs to be the way that you are supposed to do it, right? And so your one way is different than someone else's one way is different than someone else's one way. And so, I love that. I wanted to ask you specifically about just being a mom, and a wife, because I haven't met your kids. I got to meet your husband, who just, wow, what an incredible dude. Like that guy, I had like a man crush for days after I left him. I was like, what? How come I've never known this guy? Like, he's amazing.
I mean, everyone should know him, right?
Yeah.
And I would even listen, let me not paint this like all fairy tales.
Sure.
Every season has been amazing and has had some of the most beautiful moments and memories that I will always cherish. Some seasons, adult children, that is a new beast.
It is.
Like, it's because it's like, do you want my advice? Do you need my support? Do you want me to be quiet? Do I just need to listen? And co-parenting is sometimes like, you said what to who? And we've even had our moments, but I'm just so thankful that we'll be 24 years in May. May 26 will be 24 years. And I'm just so thankful that we're still all doing it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's beautiful.
Did you know that the liver is the second largest organ in the body? That's right, second largest. That's pretty big. It's responsible for over 500 functions in your body, but for some reason, the liver just gets no respect like Rodney Dangerfield's like, can I get some respect? Over 30% of Americans have a sluggish liver. Did you know that's a problem? It's a problem that often goes undetected until the very last minute. That's why Dose is on a mission to educate us all on why it's so important to maintain your liver health and has created an incredible product to do just that. Listen, if you're looking for a natural way to promote and maintain your liver health, I found a clinically supported, potent, and effective solution, and I can't wait to share it with you. It is Dose for Your Liver, formulated to cleanse your liver of unwanted elements, aid in digestion, and maintain your body's filter. Why in the world would this matter? Because your liver is the second largest organ of your body, and again, responsible for over 500 functions. Dose's science-backed formula promotes liver function, aids in digestion, and it even eases bloating. This is what you got to do. Save 30% off your first month of subscription by going to dosedaily.co/Carlos or entering Carlos at checkout. That's dosedaily.co/Carlos for 30% off your first month subscription. Right now, all of my merch is being hosted on a Shopify site, and I love Shopify because not only does it make it so easy for me to sell what I need to sell and what I want to sell, but also it lets me know all the data, and I feel so good about what Shopify is doing for my products. Right now, I'm selling my documentary on my Shopify site, and I see that the checkout is going so well. Like, I can see when people come in, when people are in my store, when people leave, if they leave without a product. It is so freaking cool. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Literally, nobody does it better. Home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and I can attest to it because I see it working. And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going on. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling on the web, in your store, in their feed and everywhere in between. That's right. Shopify works in all of those places. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that I use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Carlos, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Carlos to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Carlos. That is awesome. No, it is doing it together, because it sounds like this is something that, again, your husband obviously has been backing you and these crazy dreams, and while he does what he's doing, and then your kids. There's someone listening to this right now that maybe they're cleaning offices right now. Maybe they're feeling invisible right now. What would you say to the person that everybody has dreams, even if they don't even know what they are, they're in them? What would you say to the person that's feeling invisible, that's like, I just don't know if it's going to work out like it did for Jess, for me?
Yeah, can I say a few things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because they're listening, so you may as well.
Yeah. First and foremost, I would say, oh my goodness, find me on social media, because I would just love to tell you in a private message. If no one else sees you today, I do.
That's
I just
awesome.
think there's something powerful with seeing someone and just saying, like, what you're doing matters. If it's cleaning an office building, if it's doing a job that you don't love, if it's maybe in a season that just isn't your favorite, you still matter and you're still so important and you're seen. And if you have breath, that means you have a purpose, so those dreams can still happen. So that would be first and foremost. Second, I would say find contentment in the small, beautiful dreams.
Oh, awesome.
Because I think if we miss the daily dreams, I think if I would have missed having coffee and seeing my first bird land on my feeder, I would have been sad. It's silly to anyone else, but I made it and I built it and I filled it with birdseed and they came and it was beautiful. And so find reasons to be thankful for even just where you're at and where you're living in today.
Yeah.
And then I would say, don't give up on yourself, because I just think we are our own worst critics. We're always the people who kind of are the naysayers to ourselves, even more than other people are. And just don't give up. Like there is still a purpose for you if you are here. And I believe that so fully in my heart. And so do whatever you're doing right now to the best of your ability, and something new will come.
Yes, something new will come. So just stay at it. And read the message that's behind Jess. You matter. Yeah. You got this. And you're like really pretty.
Really pretty guys.
Is that you? Is that your own quote?
Actually, that's from my daughter.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Most of the stuff behind me is either kid related or like work or like fun stuff. But they're I'm telling you, they're the best part of me. Oh, one last thing I would say too, and I'm so sorry.
Sure. No.
When I think we feel the most unseen, I think that's a great time to go out and make someone else feel seen. There's something weird about that. Like when I am maybe feeling or maybe my glitter is not as bright as I would like it to be in a day, right?
Yep.
If I go out and I'm at Target or I'm at Sprouts or I'm wherever, and I talking to the person when they're checking me out, oh my gosh, your skin is glowing. What are you using? I love that, girl.
Yes.
Like there's just something about that when someone else's face lights up because you've seen them. There's a weird I matter too because I made them feel like they matter. So I think whenever we feel like we need something the most, that's usually the time we need to go give it to someone else.
Yes, that it's so important because there's so many people that just feel invisible. Their jobs make them feel invisible. Like they just every single day are wondering. And we literally have a superpower. Every single person has a superpower of making someone else feel seen. Mm-hmm. So good. So good. Well, I feel like, you're a superhero when it comes to, making people feel seen, but also I think there's a lot of people that are listening to this right now that are going to be like, okay, I think I'm going to freaking do this. I'm going to go for it. It doesn't matter where I'm at. If Jess is looking at herself in 10 years from now, I like you said, you always like to know what's the next thing. You're a go-getter. What's something that you would love to learn to do in the next 10 years and in 10 years be really good at it?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to cook. So I
Okay.
think something like maybe of different types of cooking. That would be
Got
one.
it.
The other thing would be I really desperately want, I've already started it, but to have a children's book. I would really
Wow.
like to be in that world.
Yeah.
I love everything Enneagram and relating that, or even just personality types, all that good
Yeah.
stuff, just relating it into kids. So maybe parents and kids can connect a little earlier on
Yeah.
about
That's cool.
big emotions and big feelings
Yeah.
and just have a better understanding earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe helping kids feel like they matter and that they're seen
Yes.
and that they're loved. So 10 years from now, I would love those two things.
Yes.
But also 10 years from now, if my kids are happy and
Yeah.
healthy and doing what they love, and Dustin and I are van camping and doing a little bit
Yes.
of fishing in trucker hats and comfy clothes with maybe
Yes.
a mimosa or two, I
Let's
will
go.
also be really, really happy. And so I think
Yeah.
they're both there. And
That's
hopefully in
so
10
good.
years, we get to have all of them.
Yes. No, I love that. There's this trend that's kind of going around on Instagram and TikTok where people are like, you're 92 years old and you wake up and you get to tell your 44-year-old self or however old you are now, and you do like 10 slides on what you would. It's such a good way to like think ahead of like, say you're 8 and you want to talk to your version of who you are now,
Yeah.
which is, I kind of think a little bit of what you're saying. I mean, every moment is an opportunity to really live. And, you're just a great example of that.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to say. I was actually asked just recently if you could tell your 20-year-old self 2 words. And I said, keep going.
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
I love it. Keep freaking going. So 82-year-old version talking to you right now, keep going because you're doing amazing things.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jess, for being on the show. This was so freaking awesome.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. This was like just the best thing ever on a Friday.
Yes. Glitter. And also everyone needs to remember, glitter is actually a color.
It is. And it's my favorite color.
And it's your favorite color. I know she was talking to the dreamers. And some of you guys have stopped dreaming because you think it's too late. What I want you to remember again, listen, when we feel the most unseen, that's a great time to go out and make someone else feel seen. Listen, we talk about being human, seeing humans, and freeing humans all the time on this podcast. And Jess is a great example of exactly what it looks like to do that. You have been attending another session of Human School. And Jess, thank you for being our incredible guest lecturer today. Listen, friends, I need to let you know that tomorrow this is pretty cool, or if you're listening to this when it comes out on Thursday, I am letting you know that I'm launching a 3-day screen, we'll call it a screen-free challenge that I'm going to walk you through. The link will be on my Instagram, on my website, and in the show notes if you want to sign up for the 3-day screen-free challenge that I think is going to be very helpful for all of us in becoming better humans. We start that next week, but you can sign up today. I'd love for you to join me. I'm not really on Instagram these days, but I will be there every single day, helping you find the beauty on the other side of your screens. All right, friends, that's all for today. I'll see you next week on another episode of Human School.